Got it.
We are recording. This is so exciting. Okay, so y'all know it's me, Michelle Hendrickson, and I'm coming to you with my fabulous friend, Ikiata. We call her E because that, as y'all can see, I totally mess up pronunciations. So I would love to ask, I'm having E share a little bit about her Mary Kay story, and I'd love to be able to give your feedback and tell us, what you think about it. And just so you know, your beauty consultant definitely wants you to listen for at the end. We have some questions, and so if you can say what you're an A, B, C, or a D at the end, then you get entered for something special. Okay, so E, the fabulous E. So, okay, now I know you, and I also know that before Mary Kay, you were an accountant,
That
and
is correct.
you didn't like public speaking and a fear of public speaking.
Still do.
Right. So this is what I want to know. What on earth, where were you whenever Mary Kay found you in this process of your life? Go.
Well, that's perfect question. So originally I started using the products. It wasn't until I got to my mid-20s, I started having problematic skin. I tried several things. I found a couple of things that worked, a couple of things that didn't. But then I had a cousin who was a Mary Kay consultant, and she said, hey, why don't you try these products? I said, okay, fine. So I tried the products and I absolutely fell in love with it. I actually was already using something that finally worked for me, but I thought that Mary Kay was a lot more economical, and then the process was a lot less intense, throughout the day, because the one I was using previously 3 times a day, Mary Kay twice a day, plus it's more economical for my pocket. I said, okay, I'll make the switch. So I originally started with Mary Kay because I fell in love with the products, and then she said, hey, if you become a consultant, you can get these wonderful products half off. I said, oh, wow, because I started going into getting into some of the other fabulous products that they had. And I was like, this will be a good decision for me to do, because I'm falling in love with more products within the line. So it just made perfect sense for me to become a consultant so I can get my products at half off.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. I think anybody on here would say, okay, yeah, like a hashtag, duh, that's smart, right? Okay, but so what's funny to me though, is because I would say, because I know E, and she is fun loving and fabulous and all these things, but like her background, she's an accountant. And usually, I mean, most of the accountants that I know are much more like much more reserved, and knowing her now, I'm like
a very risky move almost to like
yes. Thank you. It's like a risky move. Yeah. So what on earth made you because you got into it so you get your stuff at half price, but what would make you actually create it as a business? Because like Hannah was saying, sounds kind of risky. You're an accountant. Like that's kind of outside the zone, talking to people.
Oh, it's so much riskier than that. Let me explain my background a little bit more. I'm the oldest of 5 children, and I have all brothers. So I grew up as a tomboy. I never wore makeup. The only thing that I wanted to do was have good skin, because that was my only thing. Like, okay, I didn't want problematic skin. So I didn't wear makeup. And I was very tomboyish. I grew up around all men, so it was like a little odd for me to be around so many women. And then I had this tremendous fear of public speaking. So I purposely chose accounting so that I didn't have to have any direct contact with the individuals on the other side. So I didn't want to be in customer service. I didn't want to have to deal with the public. But if you put me in a little cubicle and put a little phone in my hand, I had no problem speaking over the phone. So it was a lot more riskier than you thought. But what happened was, I was a newlywed. I got married in 2013, and both my husband and I both worked in finance, and he decided that he wanted to make a career change. So I'm all for it. I actually absolutely loved what I was doing. It was, to me, my dream job. So it wasn't like I was looking for anything. It was my dream job. I had accomplished what I had set out to do. I went to school, found a company that I absolutely love, and I was on my way to the top on the corporate level. So, but my husband, he was not happy, and he wanted to do something else. And I definitely encouraged him to do so, because I wanted him to be happy just as I was. And so he found a different industry, but it required him to travel a lot. And like I said, we were newlyweds 6 months in. So he started doing all of this traveling, and then what happened? Now we have this tension in this very, very new marriage. So I said, okay, I know I encouraged you to be happy and find something that you love to do. So this is what I'm willing to do. I already love these absolutely amazing products, and I'm starting to learn more about the business. I'm seeing other women become successful, starting to grow in the business. Why don't I try this? This will actually prevent me from having to be locked into the office 60 hours a week, and then I can travel with you. So I can always come back. I literally had that type of relationship with my company where they said, you know what, if you decide you want to come back, just let us know. We always got a spot for you. You know, I shed a couple of tears on the way out the door, but I was really committed to my marriage and wanted to make it work. So that was the leap. That was the reason and the cause for me to make that leap into doing Mary Kay and focusing it more on a business and not just as a discount, you know, for me to get my products half off. So that was really, really, really risky for me. And I was absolutely terrified when I made that decision.
Like I've never heard this story. My brain is just blown. I'm like, blow my mind right up in here. I'm like, what? Like, I'm over here going, wow, I so applaud you, because can anybody else think of, like, would y'all be willing to do that? Like, that freaks me out. It makes me kind of want to hyperventilate right here just a little bit and go, oh my gosh, like
yes, how did you do it? Like, how did you like start your business while traveling? Like, did you know where you were going? Did you know the people you were reaching out to at that time?
At the time, no. So we were stationed in Houston, right? So we were working in Houston, and for his very first assignment, he actually got assigned to Dallas. So I had an idea, and I knew that we were going to be there for approximately a year and a half. His first assignment was 18 months in Dallas. So I'm like, okay, well, it's not that far from Houston. I can still see my family and friends. I can still service the few customers I had here in Houston, all the while still trying to build in Dallas, something new in Dallas. So yes, I did not know anyone. That's actually how I met Michelle, is because it was from my director who previously lived in Dallas, connected me with other Mary Kay directors in Dallas. And so when I got here, I was already able to come in and start establishing relationships to at least work my business. Now, it was still my responsibility to go out, meet people, try to figure out new circles and all of that. But at least I had a place that I know I could go and be safe. That was my mind. I needed to go somewhere to be safe. So, but that was really how I started. I started there, and then from there, let me tell you what the other thing I did. I drove Uber because I didn't know where to go. I had no way to know my way around the city. So when I first came to Dallas, I started driving Uber so I could learn my way around the city. And through those conversations with my Uber passengers, helped me identify where to go, who I should meet, and where can I go to meet some new people. That's what I did.
Okay, that is amazing. I think I'm thinking ingenuity, you were willing. Well, and I think I'm like over here going, I love that you wanted to make your marriage work. Like that's important. And I can't think of anybody. I mean, if anybody else was married, you want to make your marriage work. And that's like, to me, that's huge that you were willing to do that.
Well, we're women. We're women. We are naturally, most of us are nurturers just by heart, just born nurturers. So we want to make sure home is happy. That's what we do. So, and by, of course, me being a new wife, I felt like, I needed to do everything that I could do in order to be, and I always thought in the back of my mind, if it doesn't work out, I can always go back to Houston, get my old job back. So that was like my safety net, but it was definitely a risk, but I was really willing to make it work, with all the traveling and things of that nature. And it was exciting for me. It was also exciting for me to try and do something new. It was a challenge for me.
I mean, wow. I guess my next thought would be, did you ever have things that happened that made you think, oh my gosh, like, did I totally screw up in making this decision? Or was everything just like smooth sailing all the way, Like,
Oh no. So I was under the impression that, even though there's a 4-hour difference between Houston and Dallas, I'll still be able to, service my customers back in Houston, at least keep that steady income from the small business that I had already started to build. But it didn't work out that way. So that little bit of income that I was anticipating that I would have, and that could kind of supplement me while I'm rebuilding in Dallas, I didn't have anymore. So, because although I could have been greedy about it, but I wanted my customers to be happy. And I really just felt like they would be happy with a consultant who was local, who could service them, because they were like Johnny on the spot. I want it and I want it now. That's how most women are. We need a mascara. We don't wait, we wait until we're pumping 3-4 times in here. Is nothing in there. We need a mascara right now. So I just felt like it would be better for them to be connected with someone locally. So I didn't have that supplemental income from the small business that I built. So I was nervous about that. I was nervous about not having the income of my corporate background. I even thought about getting another corporate job here, which I made that connection as well. I had a vice president of accounting in Houston, reconnected in Dallas, and he says, hey, I got a position for you. So I thought about it, because I didn't want the decision from me leaving my corporate job to cause not only, okay, we're together, but now we have this financial stress that we now have to worry about. I didn't want that. So, and it was a slow start. It was a slow start because the learning curve was a little bit bigger than I had anticipated, but I eventually caught on, got connected with some amazing women, and they just really, welcomed me with open arms. Michelle was literally one of the first women who I met when I came to Dallas and got connected.
Okay, well, thank you. Clearly you can see why I love her so much. She's, you've got some moxie is what I would say. That's, you've got some, because that's pretty impressive. So, obviously things didn't go like you wanted. Was there anything, how did Mary Kay help you with that? What was it that made you say, I'm still going to do this anyway? Because it sounds like hard.
How long did it take for you to you were saying that you had those financial worries. So when you decided to do Mary Kay, how long did it take for you to not have those stresses anymore and kind of just trust in your business?
Good question.
That really, to be honest, it felt like a lifetime. It felt like a lifetime because I was so terrified of just putting myself out there. But I had the support of my director, who is now my absolute best friend. She is now a national sales director. She wasn't then, but she was very encouraging, and she connected me with other encouraging ladies who literally took me by the hand and walked me through the process of, okay, this is what you have to do. This is how you need to do it. You can do this. And then gradually they just started pushing me out there until I was comfortable enough doing things on my own. So that was, and let me tell you why, because I know this will probably be one of the questions. That alone is the one most important reason why I feel people should join this business. Because it's literally the self-development that you receive, because as an entrepreneur, you're literally responsible for everything, not just the financing, but the marketing, the billing, the customer service, all of that. And we don't get that all around training in corporate America. There's usually just a couple of areas of focus, and then, we're probably weak in some other areas, public speaking. So now that we're this, we're an entrepreneur, we have to face those fears. And it's not easy. It's not easy for a lot of people. For me, with that public thing, I really struggled. But I had the support of other individuals, not necessarily even directors, but just people who just naturally have that charisma, like Michelle. It was ladies like her who literally taught me how to be charismatic. Like, although you don't have it naturally, it's okay. Let me show you how to get it. So I literally had to walk in those steps until I was actually comfortable enough to do it on my own. But it literally, I will say for me, if I have to put a number on it, it literally took me about 6 to 8 months for me just to become me to become comfortable with putting myself out of there. But that's that's relative. That's all about when you make the decision that, enough is enough. We got to do this thing. But so that's literally, for me personally, that was my number.
Yeah, so in hindsight, that's it sounds long, but you've been doing this for like 9 years now. So
Yes.
that's so
Yes.
cool.
Been doing it for 9 years, full-time Mary Kay now. I'm literally trying to talk, and I'm still have great relationships with the individuals who I work with. And of course, they're all my customers. And I'm literally like, come on, you got to do this. Like, you really have to see what it's like on the other side. I understand that everybody is trained to go to school, get a good job, and a lot of us are very successful in doing it.
And it's
But it's nothing like being your own, being not necessarily being your own boss, but being your own motivator, learning how to inspire yourself, learning how to pull from other individuals to see what it is that you need to get to the next level. That's the part that I feel has been the most beneficial for me coming into this business. It wasn't the relationships, it's not all the jewelry, it's not the money, although I love it all, but I feel the personal growth I receive is bar none. It's just bar none.
Well, and I would say what's so interesting, because again, y'all, this is the first time I've ever heard her tell this story. I only know, like, I know the little tiny chunk, literally. So y'all are hearing this for the first time, just like I am. And to hear her say how scared she was, and knowing how I would feel, you know, like if it was me, you know, but then but knowing her, because like when I met her, we were at the meeting and I would be like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. And you'd be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just getting on the phone and I'm going, da, 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 you know, and here and this, and she'd listen to me talk. And I didn't even know you were listening. I was just setting up the meeting and going about it. And she was like a fly on the wall, didn't even know that she was like soaking it up and like using what she saw. And then literally I saw her, you know, actually advance her career, because Mary Kay, you can get as many customers as you want, but you can also move yourself up our career path, because we have a career path as well, where you can add people to a team and you can help mentor them. I saw her do that within the space of like 6-8 months. Like she was one spot and then whoop, suddenly she was over here. And I was like, whoa, how did that happen? But I would say that, yeah, I really can see that happening, that having somebody to walk with you rather than being by yourself. Like if you were all alone, that would be so hard, but you did have people who were willing to say, here's what you say, here's what you do, come with us, we'll show you how. And then, oh, look, you're doing it. Okay, go ahead. You know, kind of like the kicking little birdie out the nest, like you got it, okay, you know.
Yes.
So I can see that actually. That's really amazing. Gosh. Well, so okay, so it sounds like obviously everything wasn't like totally, you know, easy peasy. You had to work and you've learned. And I love those questions, Hannah. And we're running up on our time of 15 minutes. So you were saying that you felt like this is the reason people should be in Mary Kay, because of the personal development that you've experienced.
Yes.
And I can see that. Like, no, like what you're saying, that the woman that you're talking about, the woman that was scared, that, you know, was afraid to do things. I never saw that girl. I only saw the girl that was like, okay, we're going to get it done. Or like your eyes might get a little wide. When we did something, I could see your eyes go like this and be like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, okay. And then I didn't never see you have a meltdown, because if she had them, she didn't have them around me, but I would have totally helped you if you'd had one. So like, I see your willingness and the sisterhood to help bring you along. Like I see you as the most confident woman that I know. And seriously, yo, she's one of the most confident women I know. I feel like you could throw anything at her and she'd be like, I got it, I'm good, you know. But to start from there, and you've only been in for 9 years, you know, like huge.
Let me say one more thing. I have developed a knack for, you know, figuring things out. I'm good at reading and applying, but it doesn't feel fluent until it's like one of those things that you actually just have to, you just got to work through it. You just got to do it scared. And even today, I was terrified. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna be on Michelle's call. What am I gonna say? I hope I don't stutter. All of that still goes through my head. It still happens. But the difference between the girl then and the girl now is because is the fact that I develop a passion. I develop a passion for this business because when I was coming up, I felt like, especially in the accounting industry that I grew up in, I felt like I, along with other women who I worked with, had to make a decision on whether they were going to climb the corporate ladder or whether they were going to stop and start a family. Okay. And so I felt like if I would have been a little bit more knowledgeable about opportunities like this, then I would have not necessarily felt like I had to make a choice. By being an entrepreneur and being in a business where you get the support like you do here in this business, then you don't necessarily have to sacrifice your executive income in order to start a family. You can absolutely have it all. Absolutely have it all. So I felt I developed that passion of making sure that at least people know the opportunity is there for you. That's what makes me still do it scared. That's what makes me push forward, because the information still needs to get out there. People feel like, you know, oh, Mary Kay has been around for 60 years. Everybody knows about it, but not to the depth of what it can truly bring to you, your family, and change your life. So that's why I still do it scared, even though I'm nervous, even though I may be forced to do some things I haven't done before. I still push forward, at least to get the information out there so that you, on the other end, can make an educated decision on the true path that you want to make for you and your family. So that's where my passion comes from.
Oh my God. Y'all, that's a round of applause right there. Everybody just clap and clap, hurry. Because I mean, right? I mean, that you can. I just feel like it makes me want to get sweaty and cry right here. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry because it's so bad. Like, woo! I'm just like, you know, keep woo, woo, woo. I'm like, I feel like I went to church.
Love it to death.
Because so true. I mean, and I think because my background is not the same as yours, and I wouldn't have ever had to choose between one or the other. And so like that makes me go, no wonder you do what you do, afraid, because just thinking about that, I'm just like going, oh my gosh, it makes me want to cry. Go, everybody sign up. Don't anybody get left behind. Literally. So anyway, it's such a good story. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to share the screen. It's the screen. I clearly cannot. Okay, so let me share the screen, and I'm going to show people the options of what Mary Kay has available right now. So give me 1 second to do that. If I can do that coherently. Okay, well, that's a different screen. Stand by. This screen. Okay, we've got several options and choices. And so one of them is, oh, if I can, just pardon me, people, technology, you know, we love it. It's a thing. In order to start Mary Kay business right now, okay, here it is. You can kind of see it. In order to start a Mary Kay business, the company has a couple things that are on special right now. And this is one of them. And this is the eStart Starter Kit. And so I'm going to mention this because this special goes till June. And it's definitely, you know, an amazing situation. It is this one, it went to this one. I'm sorry, look, you can do the 130, which is an entire kit with about $400 worth of product in it. And then it has tons of training materials. Like I said, it's literally like $400 worth of stuff for $100. And then you also get a website and the ability to process debit and credit cards to drop ship to your customers. So like that thing that she was talking about sending people things to Houston, like it can get there in a day, you know, but some people, they don't want to be waiting, right? But fortunately, I've got some great customers on here who I've mailed stuff to, and I've been a little tardy and they haven't gotten mad. So thank y'all for being so awesome. So that's the 130 that people could do if they were interested. And then the other option that E mentioned, this is available, is called eStart, and this is a $30 option. And this is one where you can get a website and the ability to process debit and credit and drop ship. And it's virtual. It means you don't have product with it, but it's a very inexpensive way to get into this opportunity to have the choices like E was talking about. So anyway, so that's just a couple of pictures that y'all can see. And then the last thing that showed up that I was showing is a sample pack. They give this as an option too, that if someone chose to start a Mary Kay opportunity, they actually have a little pack that sends, it's like 30 different samples, you know, to service 30 people. And it's amazing. And it has training materials as well, as y'all can see. And it's something that you could actually send in the mail to people, because again, people live everywhere, all over the place. This is some of the stuff that I've sent to my people that are on right now, like out of town. I've sent some of the stuff from this pack to you guys. So those are some options for people who are interested in the Mary Kay opportunity, like E had just mentioned. So that's, like I said, it's either 30 or 130 for those who want in. And I would say the other thing I mentioned, I was going to have y'all tell your beauty consultant, if you're an A, B, C, or D, I mean, I would sign up again with tears in my eyes just because of what he said. I'm like, I want to do it over again. It's so emotional. It's like it touches me. So an A is I'm all in. Yes, I can do $30. That's a great thing to get my stuff in half and have the choices like she mentioned. B is okay, that sounds great. Bribe me with a cup of coffee. I probably have other questions, that I want to know more about. C is I'll see you at the next event, be a great hostess and get some free or discounted products for being a great customer. And the D is, oh Lord, like I would rather you be down on the side of the road rather than be on your Mary Kay team. I'd be a D. And don't even pick D because that's just so negative. So those are your choices. So you'll want to message your beauty consultant after you see this presentation. So E, do you have anything else that you can inspire us with and make us all want to cry?
No, don't cry. No, but what I just say is just try it. Just try it. I mean, it's a $30 decision. I spend that at lunch sometimes, unfortunately, because I like to eat, but just try it. You never know what that $30 could bring you. Just try it. That's all I would say.
I think that's amazing. And you're so much fun. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being a breath of fresh air and just sharing the real deal. Like literally, you have an amazing story. And I just love your heart. I just love who you are. You're so amazing. So y'all wave bye. I'm gonna turn off recording.